everybody's wrong. Rewrote the song.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Aqua here, welcome to another video. This video is an informational video on a huge leaked, a lot of information on the new Shadows of Evil storyline, and Black Ops 3 Zombies, and also the Giant as well, which is absolutely awesome, guys. Sit back and relax. I'll give you a decent amount of information right here. If you want to read it all, be sure to head in the description and go to the source. So this guy is actually a developer, or was a developer, who used to work at R.A.T Studios, who made the original Zombies with the team all the way back in World at War, and he says he dealt heavily with the conceptual aspects of the map. So this is pretty awesome that we're getting some information of a developer from it, because we can get a lot from this. The first thing he says is Shadows of Evil had a fairly long development cycle. So this basically means that they've actually put the same amount of time, what he says straight after it says they allocate the same amount of time of resources that went into the development of the other two main parts of the game, which are multiplayer and campaign. So which is absolutely amazing. So we already can tell from that this map is going to be very detailed, even as detailed as campaign, because they did say that they put as much time into that as they did into the other two. He then also says the core gameplay mechanics we wanted to explore and create were the next gen design, the great storytelling and depth, different while still being familiar, and fusion of noir and goth, standout cast. So that basically means obviously the next gen map design, which means they can make it a lot better. They make it look better. They can do a lot more stuff. All the textures can be a lot more detailed. Obviously, the great storytelling and depth means they're going to have a massive story. There's going to be side missions, which he goes on to say in the next bit. And then he says different while still being familiar, which means he wanted to change it a bit, but he still wanted to have, or they still wanted to have the same zombies feel to it. And then he says, this leads me to the next point, great storytelling and depth. Thanks to the popularity of Mob of the Dead, we wanted to make something similar. Shadows of Evil exists in a different bubble than Mob of the Dead, but they're unmistakably connected, which basically means the entire map is self-sustained, meaning this particular chapter starts and finishes in the same map. So what that means is, as well as Mob of the Dead, if you didn't know, Mob of the Dead didn't have anything after it or before it. It was just 4 people from Alcatraz, which was obviously based off a true story. And there's nothing after it. It's no story. It's just that's it. So that's what they want to do with this. So basically, what that means is they're going to have one huge story in each map. So one massive story in each map, and each new map that comes out is going to be completely different to the previous ones. Whether that means there's going to be a new cast for each one, I don't know, but it does mean there's going to be a completely different story for each one. So we don't really know what to expect there. I honestly do not know what to expect with that, but it looks pretty awesome nevertheless. Then he says another thing we wanted to change. So they said they wanted to change with zombies, but it was made very clear that we had to be careful. Exo zombies was obvious that it could change, could be counterproductive. In fact, the vast majority of the R.A.T team despised what Neversoft did with zombies, which is pretty crazy. Basically saying R.A.T team did not like what Exo Zombies or Sledgehammer did with zombies, so obviously it's going to be nothing like that. He then says there is no advanced movements, and the gameplay is 100% non-linear, so there's going to be no jumping about. It's going to feel like classic zombies, which it looks absolutely amazing. Obviously we saw that in the trailer, but it's really good that they're not changing it to like what Exo Zombies did, because no one likes that. Then he also says a few things I'd like to point out before I conclude this post are the Shadows of Evil is another storyline, which basically what I said, but the Origin storyline will be continued, meaning obviously there's going to be stuff after Origins, as well as the Shadows of Evil and other random maps, which means we could be getting like 10 maps. Like at the least, that's absolutely awesome. But then he also says, because considering the Giant is being remade, and the Giant is it's got the young cast in it of like Richtoff and Nikolai, Dempsey and Takeo. He basically says this is questioning. He doesn't know this, but there's a lot of question whether all the new Verrucht map, all like the Verrucht, Shangri-La, all their maps might get remade. just because Darius got remade. So there's basically a new storyline. So all these like old maps could be remade for the 3rd time, which is pretty awesome. I would love to see that. And basically telling us there's like tons of maps going to be made for this, which is absolutely awesome, which is what I wanted to see. So he says the DLC was conceptualized by the time I left 3 Arc, meaning it's probably in heavy post development by now. He's basically saying all the DLC is probably far into the stage or maybe even finished right now, which is pretty awesome. Then he says the Giant, the remake of Darius, is a remake, not a remaster, meaning the layout is the same but virtually everything else has changed. The characters are the same ones from Origins, just younger, and the map's side quest essentially combines the Origins storyline with the whole blown up Earth storyline, in the way they essentially creates a new storyline for the pre-existing one. Basically meaning you're going to get the same map, it's going to feel the same, you're going to get new guns, you're going to get new like ways to go, there's going to be a new story to it, which is awesome. I really like that. That was pretty awesome. So you basically, it's going to be like playing a new map, but it's going to feel the same, which is what I really like. And then he says the internal name of Shadows of Evil was originally Sorry for Transit, and he says I'm not kidding. So apparently Sorry for Transit was actually the name of it, which is pretty funny because Transit was an awful map, and that is actually pretty funny. And he says, I have no knowledge for the ranking system other than the fact that it does exist, so we definitely are getting a ranking system. He says the reason being is that multiplayer team actually worked on that since our last attempt at Zombies ranking system could not be considered far from perfect. So he's saying the first time they tried it, it was pretty terrible, and he doesn't know, but since he left, he doesn't actually know how far it is into the stage of actually making it. And then he says there was some talk that the whole Giant remake was made to be able to release all the remade maps, since the new Origins crew will have to undo what happened. They'll have to revisit early maps, therefore creating a canonical excuse to release old maps. So I actually no idea what canonical means, but I couldn't freaking say it then. But he's basically, like I said before, he's saying just because the Giant remade was remade, or Darius was remade for the Giant, that there's gonna be, like I said before, there's gonna be like the old maps coming back as a remade because they need to redo everything that they've done before, unless they completely make a new storyline, which I don't think they'd do. I think that'd be awesome to see the older maps come back as well as this one. So yeah guys, really hope you do enjoy, or did enjoy this video. We'll just have to see what we get, but that is it guys. If you want any more of this, be sure to drop a like, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys on my next video.